Yes, sir. Can you feel it, baby? It's that time of the year. Drop it down. Drop it down. Drop it down. Wait a minute. Come on, bring it back. I can feel it, and I hope that you can feel it too, because it is that time of the year. Major League Baseball playoffs is on like Donkey Kong. And who better than to chop it up with your boy? Then your boy, Willie Epting Jr., of course. This is the hashtag Brothers of Baseball Show playoff edition, powered by the ShakeBack Media Group, and of course, presented exclusively by the Big Game Christian Sports Network. Just in case you missed it in the first segment, man, we kind of talked about a whole myriad of things. And how about the Texas Rangers? How about the fact that this team, who had a swoon there in August and September with bullpen issues out of the wazoo, have now found themselves in the ALCS for the first time since 2012, I want to say. Shout out to the big homie, to the brother of baseball himself, Donnie Ecker. He is, of course, the bench coach and the offensive coordinator for the said Rangers. Hope to have you back on, man, after you guys continue marching on in these playoffs. And I'm telling you right now, this has been something very, very special. And I know that this is a baseball show. I get that. I understand that. But I would be remiss if I did not play this.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
And of course, that is Jim Morris Sr., the once head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. And now here we are talking about baseball. All right. We got to get to some too bad, too good, and too ugly. And of course, this is on the hinges of what we talked about there in the first segment. The Houston Astros and the Minnesota Twins, as of tape time, are in game 4. Game 4, with the Astros looking to wrap it up. The Atlanta Braves are getting pummeled as of tape time by the Philadelphia Phillies. Bryce Harper has gone berserk in this game. So it's not looking good for the Braves or for the Twins for that matter. All right, before we move any further, let's go ahead and take care of these bills. Founded in 2022, Front End Sports. Front End Sports is dedicated to empowering athletes, teams, and organizations with cutting-edge social media merchandising and NIL strategies to help your brand through innovative and personalized solutions. Their team consists of experienced professionals with diverse backgrounds in sports, marketing, design, and technology who share a passion for helping their clients succeed and unlock their full potential. Hit my people up on the web at frontendsports.com. Lowell and Pat, they are good people, and they want to see people succeed, and I 100% vouch for them. All right, so Big Day, it's the playoffs, yes. It's finally October, yes. And oh, by the way, thank you guys out there for checking us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and of course, appreciate it. Even though the playoffs, I mean, this is October, right? We finally have some cooler weather in the DFW area after it being, 96 degrees just a couple of weeks ago. And I don't think anybody outside of Arlington, Texas would have thunk that the Rangers would be here in this position. And I actually posted this on my personal Facebook page on on Tuesday night. I said the ALCS is going to have 2 AL West teams in it. And that, of course, is the Rangers and the Astros. Now, the Astros, as we were taping this, have not won their series as of yet. However, it is looking like that is going to be the case. So the Rangers and the Astros are really headed for a collision course in a playoff edition of the battle for the boot, the golden boot, or the brown boot, or the little brown jug, or y'all know what I'm saying. It's a rivalry, and it's going to be intensified because if I'm not mistaken, should this come to fruition, this will be the first time these two teams have played in the playoffs against each other. How big would that be for the state of Texas? But before we look too far ahead, Big Day, I got the good, the bad, and the ugly, but it's the too good, the too bad, and the too ugly. So if you don't mind, my friend, go ahead and hit the music because this is going to be fun. All right. So normally how I do this during the regular season, it's it's usually just good, bad, and ugly. And I've actually ramped it up a little bit by adding another thing to it. And there's no rhyme or reason for this, but I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, the too bad, the too good, or the too good, the too bad, and the too ugly is just that. Now, let's start here. Let's talk about those Rangers because they've been really too good. And when I say that, these dudes are 4-0 in the playoffs. 4-0. And actually, they're 5-0 because they swept Tampa in Tampa, and then they swept the 100-win team out of Baltimore in the Orioles. 5-0 in the playoffs. And not just that, ladies and gentlemen, they have done it against a team in the Rays that won 99 games, and then they did it against another team that won 101 games, both in the same division. Those two teams combined have a run differential of over 320. And the Rangers offense, we know what it is. We know what it has been all year. We were never really concerned about that. But I got to just tell you guys about Bruce Bochy and the fact that he's won 3 World Series titles as a manager. 2 with the San Francisco 49ers, San Francisco Giants. I got the 49ers and the Cowboys on my mind from what happened on Sunday night out there in Silicon Valley. But the Rangers have a dynamic offense of their own. And what has been the Achilles heel for the Rangers for the last, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks has been their bullpen. And in fact, it's been their rotation as a whole. Nathan Eovaldi, who is quietly cementing himself as one of the big game postseason pitchers in recent memory in the Major League Baseball ranks. He is from Texas. He's a former Red Sox. He won a championship there in Boston, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember off the top of my head. But with him leading the way, and you got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, there is no Jacob deGrom. There is no Max Scherzer, who they traded for at the deadline. Both of those dudes are going to be out or have been out and will be out for the remainder of the season. And the Rangers just keep on clicking. They're too good. That's too good, number one. Too good, number two. The Arizona Diamondbacks. I love this team. Holy cow, Marte and Calhoun and Gallen on the bump and Eflin on the bump. I love this team. And Lovullo is one of the better managers that people don't talk enough about. They went to Milwaukee after they limped into the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen, losing their last 4 regular season games, limped into the playoffs, and then went to Baltimore, went to Milwaukee and got them in a 2-game sweep. Then they started the NLDS with their division mates, the Dodgers, took the first game out there, took the second game out there. And now they're on the verge of heading to the NLCS. That's my second good. Too bad. My first bad is the American League East. This was the most competitive division in baseball. In fact, every team in that division was at 500 or better up until the last 2.5 weeks of the season. Only one team finished under 500, and that was the Boston Red Sox. But they were there at 500 or above for the better part of the season. But here's the thing. You have, again, the Baltimore Orioles, who won the AL East, 101 wins. The Tampa Bay Rays, who got off to that phenomenal start, right? And then they kind of fell on hard times there for a moment. They were never able to catch the Orioles to take the division lead. They win 99 games. And then you have the Toronto Blue Jays, who have a dynamic lineup that team just consistently underperforms, in my opinion, with Vlad and Bo and Kavan and Witt and whoever else you want to throw in there. That division went 0-7 in the playoffs. The Blue Jays got swept by the Twins. The Rays got swept by, of course, the Rangers. And the Orioles got swept by the Rangers. And the Orioles had the best record in all of, or the second best record in all of baseball. And they had home field advantage and never was able to get over the hump. That's bad. My second bad is the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the fact that these dudes just cannot win with Dave Roberts at the helm. Again, you win 100 games. I think they're like only the second team in the last 40 years to win 100 games and then lose first 2 games at home in the subsequent playoff series. That's bad. This is a team that led all of the National League, with the exception of the Atlanta Braves, in run differential with a plus 207. And now you're on the verge of being swept by your division mates, who also, and I talked about them in the Too Good, but they're making the Dodgers look too bad. And the fact is that the Diamondbacks, they didn't just learn how to play baseball the day before yesterday. Oh, yeah. They led the National League West for a good part of the early part of the season. That's my too bad. And then my too ugly. Oh, my gosh. The too ugly involves a Braves team that has won 104 games this year, that has, 6 players with at least 30 home runs. You have the first ever 40-70 dude in the history of the sport in Ronald Acuna Jr. He's probably going to win the National League MVP. You have another dude in Matt Olson, former Oakland A, who hit 54 home runs during the year. And you line up against the Philadelphia Phillies and you're being taken to the woodshed. It eerily simulates what happened last year. And I said it on the last show, the playoff preview. The Phillies are not afraid of the Atlanta Braves. They're just not. They've proven it. They know they can beat this team. And the game on Wednesday night, Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, man, that offense went crazy against the Braves. And the Braves, man, scored almost 1,000 runs this year. By far the most of any team in all of the majors. And now they can barely scratch runs on the board with that lineup. Holy cow. Holy cow. And as a matter of fact, it's over. The Phillies have defeated the Atlanta Braves 10-1, 10-2. And in that game, or with that win, now the Philadelphia Phillies have set themselves up to return to the ALCS for the second straight year. The Braves are in trouble. And it's a shame because arguably, and here's an honorable mention too ugly, because the Braves and the Dodgers easily, in my opinion, in the opinion of many others, ladies and gentlemen, have the most feared lineups in Major League Baseball, and have had that for the better of a part of a couple years. And if these two teams, one of which won 104 games and the other one which won 101 games, one which had as a team 946 runs scored, or 947 runs scored. And the other team that had 906 runs scored. For these two teams to be on the verge of elimination, very, very ugly. Now, of course, I don't have a dog in the race or a horse in the race or a foot on the bag or anybody on deck or any of those things. But these playoffs, ladies and gentlemen, have been some exciting television for me. And when you look at the fact that this is what I said about baseball for the longest, you don't have to have the best team. You don't have to have the best team to win the World Series. You don't have to have the best team to win a series, not just the World Series, but any series for that matter in baseball. Now, I ask the question, is it really inconceivable to think that the Braves are a worse team than the Phillies? I don't think so. Is it inconceivable to believe that the Diamondbacks are really a sweep in a series better than the Dodgers? I do not believe so. I do not believe so. Is it safe to say that we thought that the Tampa Bay Rays were a better team than the Texas Rangers? I would think so. And of course, the Baltimore Orioles. Is it safe to say that we thought that the Orioles were a better team than the Rangers? Absolutely. Nobody expected the Rangers to even be here. And for them to lose 2 out of 3 on the final weekend of the year up in Seattle, which had them in a first place tie in the AL West, you know what I'm saying? And then lose the tiebreaker. Nobody expected them to be here. You beat a 99 win team and then a 101 win team. That's crazy. So that's what I say. This is the reason why I think baseball is so underrated. Because if you are a less inferior team, or if you are an inferior team to the team that you're going up against in a particular series, if you are playing baseball at a clip that has surpassed the talent level of the team that you're facing, and that team is not playing very well, you have every chance in the world to beat them. And we're seeing it. We're on the verge of seeing it. And we've already seen it with the Rangers and what they did to the Rays and the Orioles. So, with that being said, kudos to them and long live baseball. All right, that's going to wind it down for the second segment here of the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show. Thank you guys out there for Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. Come on back here inside the break. We got more baseball talk for you. Willie Epting Jr., hashtag Brothers of Baseball show. Y'all come back and holler at me.